I was Catholic, but I grew up in an environment where people like talking about the gospel. In Haiti, that's how it is. People really know their stuff when it comes to the Bible. Uh, where I live, people used to have discussions about religions. And one day someone came talking about the religion, the Mormon, and he was saying, "Oh, these people, they're weird. They're like pray naked. They're like different." And I was like, really? I was young, so I didn't know much until I moved to a different city. I mean, a different town. And my one of my cousins used to come to the church. She invited me, and I didn't even know. I didn't want to go because I knew these people were weird. That's what I heard. But because I trust her, she's my cousin, I decided to go with her. And that's how I met the church. And when I get there, one of the guys, his name is Alex, is from Haiti. Everyone in Haiti at the church knows him. He was the one teaching on the priesthood class, and he was talking about priesthood and the restoration. I was like, what? There's prophet, those type of things? He was saying, yeah. And they started, like, basically I was the only non-member at that time. And the lesson basically became like a discussion between me and everyone else because a lot of things they were saying I never heard about before. So, and since then I kept going to the church. Pretty much every Sunday I became active until I was young. I couldn't get baptized without authorization. I was 15 of my parents. And until my parents agreed for me to get baptized, that was about 7 months after I met the church. I became a member. hmm So basically, my cousin invited me. Now she lives in Orlando. hmm
That's great.
hmm
Were there any like pivotal moments you want to share relative to your conversion? Like when, I don't know, any ways that you knew it was right for you to become a member?
Yeah, as I said, we used to talk about the Bibles all the time. So there was like these verses I was reading and the Bible never made sense to me. Or they made sense to me, but I didn't find them anywhere else. Like for example, when he's talking about in Ephesians, he's saying like some of them are prophets, some are apostles, some are like preachers, but all of them are important for the edification of the church to build the kingdom. But and the other churches, I can see they have preachers, they have like pastor, the way they call them, but they don't have the whole thing. And when we started talking about that, was very compelling to me, and especially when they told me, "Oh, there is like a living prophet." It's like, that's totally makes sense to me. That's something I was looking for because I hear in the scriptures why we can have part of it, we don't have all of them. It just makes sense for me because in the past we used to have them, why we don't have them anymore. And I heard the story of Joseph Smith. And when I was studying with the missionaries, although I was young, they asked me to pray about it. I didn't really like think about it the first couple of times they asked me to pray. I was like, well, that just makes sense to me, but I don't know if I want to pray about it until I decided really to pray sincerely because they said without the knowledge, without the testimony of that, it's true, you cannot get baptized. So I wanted to get baptized, so I decided to pray about it to know if it's true. And that's the time I felt really a way I never felt before. And I was explaining them that. They helped me understand that was the Spirit and telling me it's the truth. Joseph Smith was a prophet. So that's how that was the most compelling thing to me, like learning to recognize the Spirit before I was even a member. And to know that the Spirit is telling me this is the truth. And, and I decided to follow it. It's kind of like a feeling sometimes you can't even describe, but you feel it, and it's like in your soul. You feel good about something you just heard. I prayed specifically. The thing I prayed that night specifically is to know if Joseph Smith was a true prophet of God. And then the way I felt about that, there was no doubt in my mind. There was no question about that. It was the truth. As the scriptures explaining, it's like it's a feeling of peace, of comfort, and the thing came through your mind, and I started thinking about like scripture with things I never done before. Although the missionaries would let me read the Book of Mormon, but I started like thinking about scriptures in the Book of Mormon. That's totally makes sense to me. It's like comparing them with the Bible. They were totally making sense to me right after I pray about it. I started to. It's like a vision to me, like the Book of Mormon at the same time was true. Because like the scriptures, like especially one of them I was thinking about is like Moroni when he like have like to on the one to hide the golden plates. I was thinking about that, all these things. I was like totally make sense to me. Not only they make sense to me, they come to my mind like as the truth. I didn't have any doubt about it. I know deep inside myself these things were true.